Well, today we're talking about a very exciting topic, file management. Okay, not very exciting, but I promise you're gonna learn a few things. Let's get into it. Well, hey, what's up? My name is Tony and I'm a filmmaker photographer in the St. Louis area. Today we are doing a tutorial on how I do my workflow on my hard drives. Not very exciting, but if you do not stay on top of this, you're gonna get all flustered and not be able to find any of your assets or go back and get files that you need, any of that. So we're gonna talk about just kind of what I do, and we're gonna both be doing it on my iPad, and I'll show you it's the same exact system on my other hard drives and my computer. It's all the same thing, so that no matter what drive I'm on, I know exactly where I can find my projects. So just to give you a brief understanding of what hardware we're using, this is the new M1 iPad that we're kind of working on today. But like I said, you can do this on computers, whatever you want. The only other thing that I have with me is my hard drive. This is a LaCie. I think this is a 1 or 2 terabyte SSD. And the reason that I went with this one is just purely speed. It's like twice as fast as like the Samsung SSDs, and then way faster than the ones that are not SSDs. So it's nice and compact, small. I can take it with me. I know I don't have to worry about shock or water resistance, any of that stuff. This hard drive is built for tough. Not really, but you know what I mean. And then the only other thing that we have is, I've mentioned this before, I've got this nice little USBC hub that you can put a hard drive on, you can put your SD cards in. I've talked about this before. The link for these two products are in the description. Now, what I do is if I'm working on a project, it's on my working hard drive, my portable hard drive. And I keep that with me wherever I'm going, but I also have another hard drive. It's a very big one, and I do it by year. So 2021, I start a new hard drive. Typically, it's like 12 terabytes, and I'll do a good job filling that up. Most people will not be filling up a 12 terabyte per year. So you can pick up like an 8 terabyte for around, I don't know, 150 bucks or maybe 200 bucks. I don't even know. I'll find one. I'll stick a link in the description of the one that I use for my backup with a couple different size options. But basically the way that it works is I've got my yearly hard drive that backs up all of my footage. And then I've got my working hard drive that I use for my projects that I'm working on immediately. And so as long as I am working on a project, it is on this hard drive. Once that project is completed, I will send it over to my big hard drive that I store all of my files on. Now, if it's a really important project, say a wedding or a client project, even though it's on here, I'll do my initial backup as soon as the footage is recorded. So I'll have a backup with me, and then I'll have one at my home. So if the house burns down, I still have it. If for some reason I lose this or it breaks, I still have the footage. I can go back and I've got that backup. So I've got 2 separate copies of it. Once we're in the hard drive, you're gonna see a little bit of a structure here. So basically this is what we got. I've got one folder titled template, and what this is it's just a template of how I organize every single file folder that I have for every project. It's all organized the same way. Now, I typically do, if you look at my main hard drive, you're gonna see the year 2021, but then you're gonna see just 3 different folders at the top root. You're gonna see assets and resources, you're gonna see photo and video. And that's kind of how I split the 2 segments. I've got a photo section and I've got a video section. In the photo, let's just talk about this real quick. So we've got 2 files, Lightroom CC. That is where Lightroom backs up its files once I import them in there. That's just for Lightroom CC. That's not for necessarily any client projects, and that's just their structure. So I don't have to do anything with it in there. The side that I want to show you is client projects. So we've got the year, then we've got client projects, and then I've got a couple projects in there that I'm working with. So then you'll see each individual project or folder is a project that I'm working on. Now, once again, once these are done, I'm gonna offload, but I just stuck this in here so that you can see it. So this is the project. I've got all of my RAWs saved in one folder. I just dump them in there straight from the SD card into a folder called RAW. And that is there. I don't ever do anything with that. Then I've got this other one, and this is the one that Lightroom sets up, Lightroom Classic or Lightroom CC, depending on which way I want to do it. And this has all the Lightroom data. So if I ever need to go back and pull a project, I've got all of the data from Lightroom in there as well. So that's basically how I organize all of my photo stuff. Pretty simple. Now, once we get into video, it gets a little bit more complicated. But before we talk about video, I want to talk about this other folder called Assets and Resources. Now, whenever I get, say, let's just peek in here. Whenever I get some audio, say I buy a new SFX pack, instead of sticking it in any project, I stick it in my assets. And so I've got my audio, say I've got, just find some free ones. Maybe I downloaded the Peter McKinnon sound effects. Those are in there. And I keep them all in a folder in an Assets and Resources. Same with like overlays. If I get some nice light leaks or something that I want to store, these are files that I'm going to be using in multiple projects. These are going to be in the Assets and Resources on my working hard drive. So I always have them with me. So that kind of explains that, Assets and Resources, any kind of thing. If I make, say, a rule of thirds PNG, I've got that saved. I can use it for something else in the future. But if I'm only going to use it for one project, I will not save it in this because I don't need to take that extra storage space up on my hard drive. So let's get into video. Now, once you click on the video, you're going to see that there's multiple projects just like in photos, but this is very organized. So 2021 into video, now we're into projects. And I'm just gonna click on this first project so you can see. Before we do that, I'll explain how I name it. 2021-03-19. That's the date, underscore, and then the name of the project. So when I'm looking on my main archive hard drive, you see them all in chronological orders. 2021-03-19. 2021-05-21. So they're all in chronological order that way. So we select the project, and you're gonna see, I just spin on my iPad. You're gonna see the project folder or file. These are the Premiere files, any files that I have regarding the project itself. So Premiere Pro, say I do an After Effects, say I make a thumbnail, we can put all of these in here. And then we've got our assets folder. So we've got assets, we've got photo, we've got video, we've got audio, and if you select them, you're gonna see those are the files that I have in there. We've got photos that I put for this project, then we've got some video. And the way that I do the video is always by camera. R6, Mavic Air 2, GoPro Hero 7, R5. They're all gonna have their own folder, and then within them, they're just gonna have the files and the proxy if I made that. But that's basically it. Now there's an easy way to set up this every single time, and you'll notice on this main root page that I have a 00 template. And so basically if I'm gonna create a new project, all I do is I will hold down this and I will duplicate it, and you'll see there's a duplicate. Now what I'll do is I'll rename it 2021-0524. That's today. This video is going out tomorrow. And then I will put, let's do file management, just for sake of the video. So now, of course it won't. So now it's in here, and I already have my structure set up. So now you can see the assets is in here. Audio, motion graphics, photos, video, it's all in here. And so then once I get my footage, all I have to do is use this USBC hub, plug it in, stick the SD card in, and I can just drop my footage right into this folder, and it's all organized. No matter what project I'm doing, it's all gonna be the same. Then the only other file or folder you're gonna see in these project folders is this one called export. And so if we go back into video, say we go to Rode Wireless Go 2, you're gonna see the exports folder, and you're gonna see the thumbnail that I exported. You're also going to see the final file that I exported. So that's the only thing in the export. So if I need to go back and pull that video, I've got a backup of the file that I uploaded to YouTube. It's pretty simple, but if you don't stay on top of these things, I promise you, it's just gonna get chaotic. Now, there's only 2 other times that I wouldn't do this exact system. if there's some footage that I shot, say Paisley is opening some Christmas gifts and I don't really have a project for it, but I just have this random footage, what I do is I put that under 2021 and then I put that in BRoll. And that means that it's footage that I have of a certain event that doesn't have a project. That's the only footage that goes in there. So maybe I get some really cool drone shots one night and I didn't have a project in mind, but I just needed a place to kind of store it so that I knew when I needed that drone footage, I knew where it was. That's in that BRoll folder. And I will still label it the same exact way. 2021 0524 underscore drone footage of backyard or whatever it is. Then the other time that I won't go through this process, and this is mainly on my my archive hard drive, is I've got a couple companies that I do a lot of projects for. One of which is Moscow Moto. They make motorcycle gear. You can actually see some of the photos on the back of my iPad. But what I'll do there is I'll do 2021 videos, and then I'll have a specific folder just for their projects at the bottom of my list. And so it'll say Moscow Moto, and then in there, I typically have it organized by their website or by events, depending on how their structure is for me. If they give me a lot of product stuff, the date doesn't really matter. It's the product that matters. And so I'll do it by apparel, or I'll do it by luggage, or whatever that is. And that's only for that's only for companies that I have lots and lots of projects with, so that I can easily see where their projects are when they need to reference those. All right, guys, well, hopefully just letting you see kind of how I organize will give you just a glimpse of how you can organize better. And I promise you, if you stay on top of this, you're gonna be able to pull back some of that footage and use it in other circumstances when you may have not thought about it. So if this video was helpful, I would love for you to like it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We talk a ton about camera gear. We talk a lot about stuff like this, tutorials on how you can organize your life better as a creative. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.